My name is Thembile Segoete. I work at the International Residual Mechanism for Criminal Tribunals at its Arusha branch in Arusha. I am a senior legal officer here, and in that role, I'm also the officer in charge of the Office of the Prosecutor at the Arusha branch. So in the fight against impunity in Africa, the international community's key role is that of cooperation. I mean, we all know that impunity gaps exist mainly because perpetrators of serious crimes easily move across borders to escape accountability in countries where they have committed these crimes. So in that respect, good cooperation by African countries will aid a whole lot to narrow that gap. One of the ways in which African countries can cooperate with one another, and indeed with other countries that criminals flee from to come into our African borders, would certainly be sharing of information on wanted persons. In a number of cases, non-cooperation has contributed very negatively in efforts to narrow the accountability gap for international crimes. And here I will give an example on the basis of which South Africa in particular is being labeled as a safe haven, is in respect of a Dutch national who has been convicted for arms trafficking and complicity in war crimes in Liberia during the Charles Taylor era. This person was arrested in South Africa in 2017 on the Dutch arrest warrant following the Dutch government applying for his extradition from South Africa back to the Netherlands. And it was ruled by the South African magistrate in which the extradition hearing was held that this person cannot be extradited because the offenses he was being wanted in respect of were not committed in the Netherlands. So in cases like this, I would argue that states needs to look very seriously and review their extradition laws. And when necessary, they should amend clauses that continue to widen the impunity gap. To my mind, yes, it has. And the reason I'm saying this is that, and I will give an example again of one of our fugitives who is in Southern Africa. This person is known to be in that country. He's known to be traveling extensively within that country and in neighboring countries. So I hold the view that the lockdown restrictions created an opportunity for his arrest, because while the lockdown was preventing movement of ordinary citizens, law enforcement officers were not affected by it, because by the very nature of their work, they rank among the highest essential services. In that respect, yes, and that provides a reverse of what I was saying in respect of the fugitive who is in Southern Africa. Because although the Kabuga arrest was a culmination of investigations conducted over a number of years, way before the pandemic, the restriction of movements actually presented a great opportunity to zone in on him and to zone in on the current location at the time of his arrest. It slows down progress in courts. Because of the pandemic, you would find that in other countries or in other states or in other courts, there are no court appearances. It has slowed down the progress of justice, because many things had to be now factored in to make sure that proceedings can go on, even in the face of the pandemic. My hope, and I'm going to go back to the issue of cooperation, because I feel very strongly that the rule of law fails mainly because of lack of cooperation between African states, on the basis of the fact that it's easy for us to travel within the African region. I can just cross over and live in and sit in Kenya while I'm wanted in Tanzania. So on the basis of that cooperation, my hope is that African states will find good solutions on how they can cooperate amongst themselves, and also use civil society, because in many countries you'd find that we have very vibrant civil society who are really looking at these issues much closer than maybe governments are. But if there can be a way to foster cooperation between states and civil society and then international bodies, then we will find it easy to be sharing information. As I said in response to my first question, that one of the ways in which we can contribute by cooperating would be by sharing information. So if there is good cooperation between state actors, state entities, civil society, and international bodies, then my hope is that there will be great improvement for the rule of law in the region.